Hello everyone and welcome back to my Sham Shack. This is K3KTB. My call sign, and I want to go over that. It's a personalized call sign. I got it because when I upgraded to General, I wanted to change my call sign because the one I was initially given, I didn't like it at all. So I kept it was KC3OLY. So I kept the Kilo 3 and the Kilo Tango Bravo is my initial, my wife's initial, and then our the initial of our last name. So that's where that came from. Today, I'd like to discuss 10 meters DX as a technician. This weekend was fantastic. The conditions were just right, getting into the better solar cycle, so it was wide open to Europe. There was some noise, and it wasn't the easiest, but I made a lot of new contacts. Now I'm going to go over all the countries that I made contact with this weekend. Some of them were new countries for me, so I just love that. It was great putting those new countries in the logbook. So these were all in the technician portion of the 10-meter band, so it shows you what you can do. The countries were Algeria, Saudi Arabia, England, Iceland, Greece, and Cyprus. Now, for me, Algeria, Saudi Arabia, Greece, and Cyprus were all new contacts, all new countries. So I was very glad to get those. Um, Now, a lot of times when you're doing DX, the biggest thing is to listen and wait. Uh, there were a lot of times when a country comes on the air and you first go to that frequency. A lot of the big boys are out there. The guys with big beam antennas and full legal limit amplifiers. So a lot of times you've just got to wait and let them get out of the way. You need to listen to the DX station, the contacts they pick up. Sometimes they'll pick up the first contact they hear when they call CQ. Other times they'll pick out somebody towards the end. So you just listen and wait. Let those big guys get out of the way. A lot of times I'll get frustrated and I'll say, okay, go down and get something to drink. Do something else for a few minutes, watch a video on YouTube, and then turn the radio back up and try to work them again. And a lot of these stations that I got this weekend were because I did that. I just took that break, and a lot of times they might be down in the noise. Their signal isn't quite strong, and if you just give that time to wait, that signal will come up and you'll be able to finally get them. The better you can hear them, most likely the better they can hear you. So you don't need any fancy antenna either. I have a hex beam and I had it pointed right to where I needed to go, and even then I really had trouble with a couple stations really trying to pick it out, but I made those contacts and they got my call sign, so I was very happy. Another thing to remember is etiquette. There were a couple of countries, Saudi Arabia this morning. It was terrible. There were hams in there with the big amplifiers. They got on there and they put out their call sign 2 and 3 times. It was just ridiculous. When you give out your call sign, you need to do it once and give your full call sign. These guys were giving out their call signs over and over again when this DX station was trying to work somebody else. So they were covering all that up, interfering. It's very, very poor etiquette. These hams, I looked up their call signs, and these were experienced hams, and they should have known better. So please be courteous to the other hams out there. Everyone wants to pick up a new country, but be courteous. Everyone will get there. Just wait your time, but you don't need to give your call sign over and over and over again, or give a partial call sign. Give your full call sign, give it once, and just wait. They will pick you up. You just have to wait your turn. I know if I was at DX station, I heard a call over and over again. Believe me, I would not even pick them up. It's just so rude. Most of the times, well, in fact, the only time I ever encounter that is with hams in the United States, unfortunately. So please remember that. Now, a couple of the stations I work this weekend, we're working split. Most all radios now, I believe, will work a split. And a split is when the calling station is listening on one frequency and transmitting on the other. Makes it a little easier to work those pileups because nobody's walking all over each other. So a lot of times they'll do that. Every time I work a split, I got to remember how to set it up so that I'm actually transmitting on the frequency that we're listening to and listening on their frequency. A lot of times, to make sure, just turn your power all the way down and key the transmitter, and you'll see which frequency you're transmitting on, so you get the right thing. So believe me, if you transmit on the frequency that they're on calling on, somebody's going to let you know. So politely, it's always been very politely. So say they're listening 5 up, 10 up, whatever it is. So please be aware of that. I use DX Heat, kind of cheating to find those stations out there. And a lot of times they will put in there in a comment when somebody logs contact. They'll put in a comment that they're working, say, 5 up, or they're working split, working 5 up, working 10 to 15 up. Sometimes they're not very specific. Sometimes the DX station will move around a little bit too. That way, I think kind of eliminate some of those stations that are getting in there real strong. Try to pick out those weaker stations. So be aware of that. Now, your radio settings for working DX. I try to set my radio up so I get the best possible audio out of it. I'm fortunate. I have a IC7300, and then I have a Heil microphone. The stock microphone that comes with this 7300 is fantastic, though. I get so many good reports on my audio, even with the amplifier. I've got to watch that. I need to call CQ and really talk with somebody with the amplifier so I can get those settings in. But you want somebody that can hear you and it's pleasant to their ears. A lot of times, I think if you have higher quality audio, station will be able to pick you out of everyone else first. But there are times, and I did it today, in fact, I had to go through my radio settings, and you might want to adjust those for the DX stations where you just need that little extra punch to get through. The things that I adjust are the compression and the bass and treble. Usually the treble, I'll lift that up a little bit, and the bass, I'll bring that down. Try to get that range in there, the frequency range, where it's a little easier to pick you out. The compression gives you a little bit more punch in there as well. Another thing that was really to my advantage this weekend, I noticed the gray line. The gray line is very important, and it's the line between day and night, and it will curve up. In the wintertime, it kind of curves up and back down. A lot of the stations I got, it was getting evening in Europe and Africa, and then it was more towards the daytime, more towards morning or afternoon here in the U.S., and that works. Gray line worked for me fantastic one time. I had a mobile contact from here in Western Pennsylvania to Japan, mobile 20 watts. And we were just amazed, but it was one of those things. It was the gray line. It just followed that gray line right from my location right to location in Japan. It really helps. I know there's something that goes in there. I'm not smart enough. Like I said, I've only been a ham for 3 years, so I'm still trying to figure this all out. So those are my pointers on trying to grab those DX stations, and just to show you what you can do on 10 meters in the technician portion. It was just fantastic. So I hope that you will all have that opportunity as well. I want to give a shout out to KB5MIQ Big Boy, his YouTube channel. He has a special giveaway on his channel. It's only for technicians. He has a brand new UV5R. It's only for technicians, so if you're a new ham, it's a great way to pick up another handheld. You can never have enough handhelds. Believe me, I have quite a few here. So I'm going to end this video here. I hope you tune in again, and if you really enjoyed this video, I ask that you give me a thumbs up and please subscribe. And please leave comments. I can learn a lot from you, and you can learn a lot from me, I think. So thank you again, and see you next time. KTB 73.